Hey, happy anniversary to you.
Wow, we made
Happy
it,
anniversary to
and for
me.
2 years, you made
Happy
it, we made it.
anniversary to Trash Talk. I got dressed up for the occasion.
I didn't.
I got to tell you, there's only two things I'll put a tie on for. One is the anniversary of Trash Talk and somebody's funeral.
Fair,
Uh, and
fair.
sometimes they're pretty close.
Yeah, and the second one's debatable. I got to be honest with you. I don't even know if I'm going to go.
But man, I've just been thinking about this all week. 2 years, 104 episodes
Is
so
that what it
far.
is?
Mm-hmm.
It is
Yep.
104. I guess if I did the math and figured out how many weeks were in a year, I could. Okay, we're good.
Yeah. In fact,
Um,
I think your show isn't your show about 2 years also.
I just, it is. If yes, it is. It would probably be more episodes, but in the beginning, when I started the podcast, I wasn't sure. I knew I wanted to do it weekly, but I wasn't sure the best way to promote it. I was just experimenting and stuff.
Yeah.
And so there was a couple times I did a show that I felt was good, really good. I would let it go for 2 weeks before I recorded one.
Yeah.
So I think I should be ahead. I think as of right now, I'm at like episode 107.
Very cool. Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep doing it until we get it right.
104. Why could I not do the math? Because I'm an idiot. That's why. Um, wow, that's crazy. I've been talking. Wow, that's a
Yeah.
lot. No wonder I don't like talking anymore to outside of my shows. I hate when people want to talk to me. Hey, Brandon, you want to hang out? No, I don't even want to look at you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. How about if we Zoom? No, no, no. I
No,
don't want to
I
Zoom.
got to be honest with you. I get a FaceTime 9 times out of 10. I'm hanging out. I'm not even answering it.
Right. Yeah. And
What
at
do I
least
want to
when
look at you for? God.
at least when somebody texts to you or something, you can decide when you want to answer it.
Yeah, I can debate, because 9 times out of 10, I'm busy. Just like you're busy. I mean, you might be busy doing nothing, but you're still busy.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, wow, that's a lot, man. I mean, I still remember, and we talked about it on the last time. We've talked about it several times. We've done different things, but I do remember getting the email from you initially about this. You said you had an idea for something, and I remember going on the patio, making that phone call at my old place.
That's
And you said,
right.
look, I got an idea for this show, weekly trash talk. We just kick around ideas. What do you think? And I was like, yeah, all right. Let's see
You know,
what
and,
happens.
and we did I mean, the very, very first one we did was really just kind of an intro type show. We just talked about what we were going to be talking about. And the very first show, we kind of set the stage for what we wanted Trash Talk to be. So that was really
Yes.
our first real show. And after that, we kind of looked at each other and said, "Well, what do you think?" I don't know. Well, why don't we do it again next week? Uh, and then you remember the first show with a theme that we did?
I do. And actually it was driving. It was driving.
Traffic,
We were talking about, yeah, traffic. We are talking about intersections and roundabouts and four-way
right?
stops.
Right.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, people that don't use their turn signals,
Yep.
the ones on the highway that cut across 4 lanes of traffic to exit.
The different variations of speed limits, the
Yes,
ones that are in a
yes,
75 going 30,
right. Yeah, and you realize after 2 years, nothing has
Nothing's
changed.
changed.
It's exactly the same, or it's been getting worse.
We could actually do the show again like it was new and probably have 17 new stories just from that day.
Yeah,
That was the best part about COVID was there wasn't a lot of traffic on the road.
right,
You
right.
didn't have school zones for like a year. It was great.
And that was one of the only times that if you did get out on the road, you could actually drive the speed limit.
Yeah.
Because now it's funny, there are so many roads now that I mean, you can't get above 35 or 40 miles an hour, and the speed limit is 60.
I'm
You think
telling you.
has when was the last time anybody did 60 on some of these roads?
Well, if you go on 380, it's like the Autobahn. They're doing like 75 miles an hour, and there's clearly a traffic jam
Yeah.
10 feet in front of you. I am so glad I'm not on that
Well,
road.
yeah, I mean, the speed limit says 65. So I'm going to get to
I'm gonna go.
65 one way or the other.
Yeah, it's literally like Mad Max and the Thunderdome, man. I'm telling you. I will avoid that road. And the only thing that sucks about that road is that's the best way to get to Denton, which I love, and the best way to get to Patriot Sandwich Company, unless they're local,
Yeah.
when he's dropping off those sandwiches. But like at American Coffee, and what I forgot the name. I suck, guys.
Hey, and speaking of Patriot Sandwich Company, big news, folks. Patriot Sandwich Company now has their sandwiches at American Coffee and Tea.
I always
in
forget the
Frisco.
tea part. Yes, yes.
You can now get Patriot sandwiches. You don't have to drive all the way to Denton. You can go get a good cup of coffee or some tea and a Patriot sandwich right here in Frisco. We are so thrilled for not only Judy and her gang over at American Coffee and Tea, but to our good friend David Jordan at Patriot Sandwich. He's expanding his reach, and he's going to get lots and lots and lots of new customers from that. So stop in now at Patriot Sandwich Company in Denton, or you can go to the American Coffee and Tea Company right here in Frisco, and I'll get yourself one of those great sandwiches.
And they have a drive-through.
Yep.
Which is crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Whatever.
I'm an idiot.
But
I'm excited about that, though. That's very cool because I love going to Denton, but 9 times out of 10, no offense to David Jordan, when I go to Denton, I'm going to a different part and other sides, and I'm trying to work everything in. And now, perfect. I'll go grab a sandwich, cup of coffee, be good to go. But yeah, I was watching some of those every now and then. We do those throwbacks. I'll probably do some more throwback Thursdays coming up for us, where we dig into some of the old episodes and kind of find some clips. And it's fun to watch the topics that we talked about and the transitions, and because we haven't done it, we didn't practice anything. We didn't sit there and say,
Right.
hey, let's do a dry run. We just said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk, let's throw it on and see what happens. And I can see, and it's not putting anything down, I can see the difference from like the first handful to now.
And I mean, we've done, talked some political stuff. We've talked about
did.
election days. We've
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about some of the craziness that goes on in the election process. We've talked about a little bit about foreign affairs. We've talked about Brandon getting banned in several countries around the world. We
It's
always
a big
talk,
accomplishment.
yeah, which,
I'm proud of that.
and the list is still growing, folks.
I know I'm working hard on it too. I've done some episodes on my show lately. A couple weeks ago, I really thought I'd get banned, but so far nothing.
Yeah, you got to put a little more effort into Africa. I don't think you've been banned in enough countries in Africa yet.
I don't think so either.
You gotta say something about something bad about Africa.
But
But hey,
I know I'm still popular in Guadalajara, so that's
yeah, they're saying, hey, come back here, senor. You still have an open bar tab.
right. No kidding. That's probably true.
But I think some of my favorite shows that we did together too is some of the reminiscing that we did from your upbringing in Detroit and mine in Chicago. We don't want to just spend our entire show about it. We talk about, a topic that's relative all around the country, but we like to throw in some of our reminiscences of when we were kids growing up in the Midwest. And I think that's always been, it's been entertaining for our customers, our viewers, because they've commented on it and all, but I've really enjoyed kind of going back and finding some of those notes and talking about that stuff.
Yeah. I like to hear that too, because not only is it, even though it's similar, it's from 2 completely different times and different experiences. And I think there's a lot, let's not forget, there are a lot of people out there that haven't been to Chicago, haven't been to Detroit. So for them to hear something, it's like when we talk to people, like we talked to Travis, Patton Sr. from Tell Me Something Good. Look, he's got a completely different upbringing than we do, and he's somewhere else. So to hear what he's doing, again, it just connects more. And I like that. I like hearing stuff like that.
Yeah, and some of the comments that I have seen come through was that when you guys talked about like your sports teams from back in Detroit and in Chicago, it kind of made me go back to my childhood growing up in New York, or in LA, or wherever they were, saying, yeah, I remember going to those ballparks. I remember going to those amusement parks when I was
Right.
growing up. We've done several shows about a variety of different restaurants, and we always kind of bring up some of those restaurants from our childhood, and people have said they kind of like that stuff because it kind of stirs up their memories too, and that's really what we wanted to accomplish with Trash Talk all along.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too is like you said, like we said from the start too. We made that pretty clear. You made that clear in what your kind of, whatever your goal was, or the mission plan, so to speak, a mission statement. And I totally agreed, was we never wanted to take it into a massive serious level. It can go there, and it has. There's been, when we talked about the gun violence and the lack of gun control and what we need to do, that was a very passionate, serious episode. There's nothing wrong with that. And we could do that a lot. But we hear that there's so many podcasts, so many so-called media outlets that do
Right,
that
right.
stuff. We don't need to just be two talking heads all the time.
Yeah.
And it was cool that we kind of just find it in this slew of madness over the last couple of years, to really kind of just find other stuff to talk about that can get people thinking in a different way. And that's what I think for me, when I look at our show compared to other shows. I'm not putting anybody down, but is that we are taking and talking about things on a different level, in a different direction.
Yeah, and from week to week, we try to sometimes do something that might be a little edgy. Sometimes it's nonsensical.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
and in fact, a few of the better shows that we have done and then we commented on were basically just off the cuff.
Yeah,
We did a few of those would you rather kind of
those are good.
shows, and
Those are
just
fun.
would throw words out on the table and then go with it and see where it went. And those were always a lot of fun. You
I
know,
like it too, because I'm still learning. I learned stuff about you. That's what's cool. It's like, there's a couple things. There's some shows that you've said some things, and legit revelations. I'm like, what? And to me, that's awesome. Because then I can be like, holy crap, I didn't know that.
well, we learned that you're a big follower of soccer,
Yeah.
and all love soccer, and I my sport was archery.
Yes, I think I had you
But
as a track star, and then you told me no, it's archery, and I remember that. But yeah, that's, hey, whatever. I love, most of my girlfriends of Monica and Tiffany's.
Monica and Tiffany, and I'm convinced that before our third anniversary, we're going to have a Monica or a Tiffany on this show.
As long as it's not the Monica that I'm referring to, or a Tiffany by any chance that I know, this should be interesting.
But no, we've talked about construction. We talked
Yeah.
about construction. We've talked about over construction. So, also, I mean, coffee. One of
Oh,
your passions, coffee
yeah,
and beer. You know a lot about both of those,
I
and
do.
we
Yeah.
spent a lot of time talking about that. I learned what an IPA is.
I forgot that we did a beer episode. We did a whole beer episode, which
Yeah,
is funny. And I look at what's changed. I haven't had a beer since the end of April.
really.
I haven't had any alcohol since the end of April.
And they're getting ready to open up a brewery right near you.
Well, that's that. I mean, it's also getting ready to be October, and
Yeah,
October is my let's drink, hang out, and
at
celebrate
at
all the goodness. So yeah, it's perfect.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah, I'm ready. Oktoberfest is coming at the end of September here. So um I'm ready, man. Bring on the German beer, dark beers, and some pumpkin stuff, and let's roll.
You even went out and got me a pickle beer,
I know. I have another one I want you to try.
dill pickle beer from a local microbrewery. I got to tell you,
Yes.
folks, it was the strangest thing that has ever passed these lips.
I need to get you the spicy one next time and see if you could. You make Bloody Marys? I'm sure I've asked you that.
I've had Bloody Marys. I'm not heavy into spicy stuff,
Okay.
and all, but I mean, I'll guess I'll try anything once.
Yeah, I won't try this. I've never tried it, but
Except-
I'll let you try it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, give it to Mikey. He likes everything. Right.
But yeah, there's been several beers that I've tried to find over the last several months, and I'm like, I want to find this because I think you'll like it, and it's not happening. It's like they made this much, or it's because I'm out of the loop, man. I mean, I've been sober for too long.
You're saving it for a deep dive October.
October is going to be a train wreck. Yeah, October is going to be a night. I'll probably still be a cheap date for anybody that is taking me out, which is nobody, because I'll get like 2 beers and I'll feel fine. You know, back when I was a pro, it took a lot more.
Right. See, so it's a cost saving,
It is.
process right now.
I
Too.
feel like it's a health thing, and I'm budgeting really well. So
It's-
I've traded beer for my coffee, so that's been a little bit cheaper in a sense.
yeah, and also there's no shortage of coffee places around us either.
Now throw
So-
football to like 12. So
And
yeah, there's been some fun shows. There's been some shows that I wasn't sure of, you know, that we've talked about. Like when we did the sex ed show, I mean, I was like, it's happening. And I didn't know, like, you know, you don't know, there's so much to say that, and there's so much that you want to say, at least for me. I'm like, how many trains are going to leave the station? Because if you get me talking, I don't know if I'm going to shut up, you know?
right.
And that one came out really funny and really kind of educational in a weird way.
Yeah. And anything movies, because you have
That's
been
been
writing columns, and panning movies and everything, and talk, especially superhero stuff. We got into
Yeah.
one of our fun shows that we did was about wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
We both kind of grew up following wrestling, and we brought up some of the old names
Yes.
of some of the
yes.
wrestlers, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked that one. I forgot about that. And I remember the holiday ones. You know, we've looked at not just Halloween, but looked at different aspects of the holidays.
Yeah,
of
we've
what people
covered-
celebrate.
yeah, Christmas, Thanksgiving. We talked about
Mhm.
Thanksgiving from a food aspect. You know, the
True.
things that we liked, the things we remembered. You know, just reminiscing about it. It's always been a lot of fun.
It's been interesting too to hear the ideas go back and forth, because sometimes, for me anyway, I'll have several ideas, but I'm also like, I don't know how I feel about them. You know, like you get a piece of an idea and you're like, this is kind of cool, but is it enough to do a show about and kick it back and forth? And then sometimes I'm like, man, we can do this. I just don't even know what I'm going to say, and I'll just roll.
Well, sometimes we got together ahead of time and say, "Hey, what do you want to talk about this week?" And we just don't know. We got nothing. So we
Got
say,
nothing.
"Okay, fine. Let's just turn the mics on and see what happens."
That's the best way to do it. I think so.
I'm just sitting here thinking back. I think one of the best shows that we did too. It was a lot of fun. We talked about receipts, about
Yes.
like when you go to the gas pump and you fill up and you want a receipt and you hit yes, and a receipt doesn't come out. It says, your receipt is available inside.
Yeah,
And
see
then
cashier.
We got talking about the cashiers and about how we're standing in line to get our receipt, and there's 12 people in front of us that are buying lottery tickets.
Oh my God.
And all we
yes.
just
You know, now what's funny is this just happened a couple days ago. I was getting gas at this location that's pretty good. Everything's upkeep. They're nice, pretty good about giving receipts, right? And I hit, give me my receipt because I still want it. I want to scan it. I want to get whatever. Please see cashier. I'm convinced now, because of this gas station and it never happening to me. This has never happened. This is not a fluke. I'm convinced that they are purposely doing that for 2 reasons. One, because the paper costs money and they don't feel like doing it. 2, they want you to come inside to
Sure.
spend more money on frivolous crap that you don't need.
That's right. Because while you're sitting there waiting in line to get your receipt, there's candy on the left and there's soda on the right,
And
and you ever notice that the cashier is always by the coolers?
of
So if
course.
you're thirsty and all, you're going to walk out of there not only with your receipt but with a bag of groceries.
Right, as I'm saying, you've got like bananas and oranges, and then you've got the candies, and then they've got all their specialty unique items, especially if you go to like 7-Eleven now. They've got the cups and the Funko Pops, the limited edition Funko Pops.
Yeah.
And they're all right there. And I'm like, bro, I know for a fact y'all are scamming me to come in here to get my receipt. So now when it says please see cashier, I don't even buy. I'm just like, forget you.
Yeah.
It's not worth it because I'm gonna buy something and I'm not playing this game.
Yeah, it's going to show up on my credit card bill, my statement anyway.
I'm just
that I
not
was,
doing it.
were you over at 7-Eleven and you got $34 worth of oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that was when I bought a gallon of gas for $52.
Right. Yeah. Well, we've had a great 2 years, and I hope that this is just the start, that we'll keep on going until your beard starts to turn gray.
I've been waiting, man. Well, when we first
Like
started, I didn't even have one. I shaved.
That's right.
I went back and looked at that picture. I got to be honest with you. I don't even recognize myself anymore. I was also fatter too. But I don't recognize myself. My son wants me to shave soon. He doesn't like it. I said one day, but then I saw him when he was taking a bath. He has one of my old razors, not the razor blade. Everybody calm down, the
Yeah.
handle. And he was doing this.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I got to grow my beard out. I just got to trim it up. So I don't know. Maybe I'm converting them. But I saw those pics and I was like, God, I don't think I want to shave anymore. Ever. I thought I was really just going to keep this for a little bit. Now I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go back to that. I don't know I don't know what it looks like under here.
And I'm talking about getting rid of the side stuff and just going with the goatee.
Is that what you're hey, what the heck? It wouldn't be a show without some technical difficulties. I think though, in one of our earlier shows, that's what I saw you had.
Right.
You just went with the goatee.
Yeah.
I didn't or you were freshly shaved and that's all you
Right,
had.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Why not? Rock it out, grow it.
Yeah. Change of hats and all that kind of good stuff.
True.
So,
I got to get a couple new hats. I haven't bought a hat in about a year. So
I would probably get shot if I bought another hat. I mean, I got hats that I haven't worn.
I have gotten rid of some. I've donated some. By donated, I mean to like friends. Like, here you go, dude.
Yeah.
Like I got some buddies that work construction and like do lawn stuff. I'm like, here. And then I did toss some hats, but I look at my hats now and I was like, man, it's been a year since I bought a hat. So yeah, I'm due.
Then you always get a new one, and that becomes your favorite hat. I know, like
yeah,
you got one that's Detroit. You got another one that says Brandon.
yeah.
And
that one's
also the
awesome,
Brandon
yeah.
hat's a cool hat.
My Detroit hat, what's funny is I used to have 5 Detroit hats and now I'm down to 1. I've got one that I wear to work and that's just getting funky. But the second one is really I just bought it for St. Patrick's Day. It's a green St. Patrick's Day hat with the Old English D on it. And I just wear it one time a year.
Well,
And that's it, and so I need another Detroit hat. Maybe I'll get one when I go back in Christmas. We'll see. We'll find out on Trash Talk when I
There you
wear
go.
my new hat.
well, y'all go out and make it a great day. Keep in mind, remember those sandwiches over at Patriot Sandwich Company and
Yes.
now at the American Coffee and Tea Company. And also the other
Yes.
thing you don't want to forget is to be here again next Tuesday at 8 a.m. for another episode of Trash Talk.
Yes, guys, and thank you so much. I mean, like honestly, like from the followers on Instagram, the people that watch our clips and go to the show on TikTok and Stuart's YouTube and his site, like everybody that somehow, I mean, I know somebody that watches or listens on multiple platforms. Like I know some people that religiously they just listen on Spotify. They hardly ever watch it, which I don't know why they don't want to see our faces. But actually,
they don't want to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Actually, I should say this. If you do go to Spotify, you have the option to watch it now on Spotify. So That's an option too. But it's been really cool to talk to people, or just people that email or just follow on Instagram and say, "Hey, dude, that was hilarious." I don't know.
And you
It's been
also
great,
have the
guys.
option of hitting the little like buttons, the little thumbs up, the little red hearts, and all that,
Yeah,
and saying that you enjoy it and all, and also share it. Tell your friends
sure,
about it, because I'm sure
absolutely,
that they
guys.
need a respite from all the seriousness that goes on around, and want to just come on and share a little bit of trash talk with us.
There you go.
So go out and make it a good one, and come back next week. Okay. Hey, happy anniversary, bro.
Happy anniversary, dude.